Feed the cat, but it doesn't know
There.
the difference. It doesn't know.
No, no.
So I'm not really a cat person, but I don't hate cats either. I'm neutral. But yeah, so that's why it was important because Montreal needs to be set. I talked to a lot of people not in Montreal, so
Mm.
it lets me kind of rep the city,
Mm.
and then I'll often drink from this.
Okay. You're not embarrassed at all.
I don't give a shit, dude. I haven't watched. I went to the Girard Park and they didn't watch the game.
I watched the game last night. I went to Place des Arts to try to watch it because they said they were hosting it at Place des Arts.
And
We were we were dying, bro. It was painful.
I mean, I'm kind of grateful that it'll be over soon. If I'm being completely truthful with you, because
100%.
as like a non-hockey fan, which is basically because I realize what it is. So I'm standing in the park. There's 500 people, which was kind of nice. It looked a lot like people were trying to club at the hockey game, which was cool to see. But like the cheers when we scored made me feel real good. The boo made me feel really bad. I don't like that energy, and I
Bro, I
realized
was watching the game last night, and they were saying fuck Las Vegas" or something like that, and
I'm
that was
like,
their chant. And I was like, I'm not joining on this
but
at
like,
all.
I don't want to be around that energy. To be honest,
Not
that's
at
what I
all.
realized. That's why I'm not that into sports because of that side of it. Music can just be all love.
Yeah, yeah.
It
You can
can
support every artist out there because it's not really competition.
never,
It's only competition if you make it.
and even then, it's
Also, when we're talking
manufactured.
about
It's
say
manufactured.
again?
It's manufactured competition. It's not even
100%.
real.
No.
But like the hockey shit's real. These motherfuckers are like really mad. You know, like not good.
Also, when you were talking about race before, you were talking about Occupy the Hood?
No.
The
Oh.
ones they were doing in the parks, they were doing like these crazy parties in the park.
Oh, it was
Occupy
just
the
the hot. It
major
was
one.
no. It was they've been doing all these hockey games in the park for like Girard Park for like this thing. These guys just set up like a projector and ran with it.
Or I'm going way back. I'm talking beginning of the interview. You were talking about parties in the park where they were doing like house music,
Oh,
EDM.
I don't know what it was. I just know that I saw this during COVID last summer on people's stories, and they were doing it at Jerry Park in the forest area. And the one time I went to Jerry Park, I saw it happening in real life, and it looked like I didn't go into the forest area, but it was like all out rave land. So I don't know who it was, who.
Shout out to Deep Afro Music. Great page to follow on Facebook. But also Occupy the Hood was one of the big parties that were happening back then. I think that's the ones that had um Kate Tronada at one of their events.
It's possible. I didn't know who was doing it. I just have heard that Kate Tronado was involved in one of them, at least one.
Mm,
And I know that it was at Jerry Park, and I know that it was Big People's, and I know that
mm.
I saw a lot of people snitch themselves out on stories. And I was like disappointed with the snuff
So
snitching.
tired of people looking for clout on Instagram, bro. You're gonna get caught. It's
Yeah.
so easy.
Just, yo, post stories half naked of yourself. It is a much better way to get clout. I,
Easy. When I was watching the last time we won, the last time the Canadians won, they had this video of people pushing over a cop
oh my,
car. They couldn't
yeah.
push it over all the way, but they were filming themselves doing it. And I'm like, are you stupid, bro? Like you're gonna catch yourself, and that's the thing. Like I don't remember being in this level of snitching myself out in order to look cool, which is just not smart to me.
Yeah, I saw a lot of it happen. I saw a lot of musician people do it. I don't know, maybe there's like a degree of like I'm rebellious that I don't fully empathize with as a person that is attractive to other groups of people, and that I'm not trying to
Right.
tap into that. But I saw a lot of that through my rapper friends as they was at these events during COVID, and I'm like, fair enough. Y'all be doing that, and I was in my room, interneting. I
I
didn't
was in
really,
my room.
you. I wasn't like fully live back then, but honestly, my girl. So I made the dumbass fucking choice of telling my girlfriend, "Well, the government says we shouldn't hang out with people." One time, and she just got it in her head for the rest of COVID until like
Okay.
for like 6 months. We're not hanging out with anyone. I was. And it's like I could have, but like you don't want to like it really bothered her, so I didn't for a really long time, like 6, 7 months,
Mm.
8 months, whatever. Just nobody, just me and her, for like ever. no going anywhere.
How'd that go?
One,
Really, really well, I imagine.
it definitely puts shit to the test. You have to like redefine lives and shit and figure it out. It's not simple because like you really come to be like, yo, absence really makes your heart grow fonder. And in no disrespect kind of way, but it almost is like, yo, let me go like not be home for 5 hours.
Just that simple 5 hours creates a different there was like this Frank Ocean song where I listened to, and he was just like, this like Saturdays involved us keeping separate and then keeping us self-aware of who we are, like that whole idea of like, if you constantly stay with the same person, you guys are naturally going to coalesce into one person. But to a certain extent, if you keep a little bit of distance, they recognize who you are, you recognize who they are, and then you are two separate human beings, which is what love, in my opinion, is supposed to be. Is that two separate human beings are recognizing who they are, loving who they are as separate people, and then coming together as one. But if you are constantly together as the same person, one of you is going to have to adapt to whoever the dominant person is in that relationship.
Big facts. And even to that end, even like it's just the idea of constantly being around the same person all day, every day is just gonna grate on anybody's. Yo, I have this theory where the number one reason couples break up in Montreal, in my anecdotal experience, is 3.5s.
Can you say that again?
It's 3.5s. They get 3.5s together, so you don't have any real.
What are 3.5s?
Like sorry, the 1-bedroom apartments. So you have a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen. That's all you have. So you're either in the sleeping room, which in theory you're not supposed to do things but sleep in for good psychology reasons.
Right.
Or sex.
Right.
Sex is an acceptable use of that room. Don't get me fucking wrong.
I'd imagine you'd have to both be in the same room for that part.
Yeah. And then you have your living room, which is your everything else room. And then there's no other room. So if you're mad, it's like somebody has to go to like the fucking bedroom. And that's weird. Now it's tainted.
And one person has to stay in the entertainment room.
Which usually just means people is all crouchy and they like whatever. But yo, we have this whole extra room, the studio. So if we close the door. Or
it's perfect.
And then you get your space. You can cool off and be like, I'm sorry, I was a shithead. But you're not in the room where a little trigger could happen. And now nothing fight happens and it's bad news bears.
Have you ever watched Martin?
I don't think I did.
That's a long time ago. So Martin Lawrence used to have a show, and he was an actor on a podcast in the show. So he had like a radio show, and he would air out what his relationship issues were in the radio podcast. So one time he aired out his shit, and he talked shit about his woman, and things went super sour, bro. So sometimes that extra area where you can finally air out your things, be careful. Just be careful, bro.
Yeah.
It could get dark.
Yeah, I'm with that. But, I mean, well, I know whatever I say she's aware of. I don't say shit she doesn't know about.
I mean, it's not that you can't watch it. Twitch is so much easier to watch. They didn't have to be live back then. Back then they had to be live. Now you can rewatch everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just like this. I'm super candid with her from jump. So, like, I'm just this. I find it just makes more sense to just be real about it. I also don't think I said anything bad. I trust. I watch everything I say.
You've been pretty good, at least in this.
Yeah, I never once on wax like sell her out. Like I would not do that. That's fucking ridiculous. I might.
Wax it.
Yo, she will absolutely know if I'm saying some shit. She knows I'm gonna say some shit because off cam we had a conversation and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on the fucking internet with that. That's a real thing that happens, okay? So, trust. She knows. And then, like, she can hear me. She can literally hear every word I'm saying in the next room or whatever because the walls are very thin. So, but, yeah, I would never, like, I don't think you should, like, publicly put your partner. You know what I can't stand if we're going to talk about relationship shits is when people throw shade in memes. Like, bro, or song lyrics. Like, you know who the fuck you're talking about, dude. You're not just posting those lyrics because you're not mad at your girlfriend.
You had me at memes. You lost me at song lyrics. I love a song that's so metaphorical that it could apply to anybody, but it also might apply to exactly who thought it applied to.
Okay, fair. But like, I see people do it to trigger their partners.
That's toxic as fuck.
This is the same thing
And
as
you should
memes.
leave that
So
person.
I said it in that context, not in the
Yeah.
context where you're being weirdly poetic.
Weirdly. I like to take an emotion. So how I write music, just to circle back to me, because I love talking about me, which I don't at all. But just to go back at it, I love to write lyrics from a perspective of what everybody would relate to. So it doesn't technically tie to a specific person, but I would take a specific feeling and then expand it towards where it feels like it could apply to anybody that's felt that feeling before. So I would never make a specific reference, but I would tap into a specific feeling that I felt from a relationship and then go, okay, so this is what everybody, I don't think I'm special in any way. I don't think any relationship is special. All of us sort of have things that tie us to, which is why like people like romantic comedies or romantic movies, because to a certain extent we connect to them as just people that have been in love in general. So I write from that perspective, I take it, and then after that I tie it into what everybody would feel. So I like songs like that, and I do that in songs, and a lot of people have been like, oh, is this about me? But I'm like, no, it's not about you, it's just about love.